Hey guys, ForTheAfro Reviews here, and today I'll be reviewing Chapter 103 of Attack on Titan. This is the only monthly series that I review, so been waiting patiently to have a chance to talk about this again since I started my channel. So the first thing we get in this chapter is confirmation that Falco and, by extension, Reiner are indeed alive. They lived through Eren titanizing inside that building and bringing the whole thing down, killing all the civilians that he did earlier on when the war kind of started. Reiner has hands kind of like this, protecting Falco. It seems like he just tightenized his hands, though, which is strange. I thought they had to start from, their neck area and go on from there. I don't know, that seems pretty cool. So Falco sees this terrifying, horrifying scene of war, beforehand, he saw, like, a festival and stuff. He was in this building, a crash, and when he wakes up again, all of a sudden this hellscape is outside. That has to be traumatizing. I think all the cadets are pretty traumatized at this point, but the ones that aren't dead, I guess. So we have the Cart Titan going in, Peck shooting their machine gun, Galliard's, going into his Jaw Titan, everyone's just fighting and stuff. Eren's still impaled on this giant, javelin thing that the Warhammer Titan created. And he's holding, the Warhammer Titan, and Mikasa comes in with the Thunder Spear, tries to attack her. It turns out even the Thunder Spear cannot pierce the hardening crystal. This kind of brings credence to the fact that maybe Annie still hasn't been figured out. Just because the fact that a Thunder Spear can't do it, what else can? That's seems to be their heaviest hitting weapon that they have. And Eren even tries to bite it, and that doesn't do anything. Not that I really expected it to do anything, but yeah. So seeing both of those things as being completely ineffective, I think pretty much this is the hardest material in the Attack on Titan verse, and as of now, there's no way to break it. So she's safe in there. I'm not sure. Maybe if Eren ingests her whole, maybe that works. But I'm not entirely. I don't think so, because I don't think you could digest something that hard easily, at least either. Falco talks to Reiner a little bit, although Reiner seems to be unconscious. He is not coherent in this conversation, but he talks to him regardless. And Falco kind of remembers that. Yeah, the Titan shifters, they have this crazy ability to heal, and they can do all this crazy stuff with that, and it's really hard to kill them because of this healing ability, but it only works if you have the will to live, and Reiner doesn't have that right now, or at least not a very strong will to live. We saw he just wanted Eren to kill him earlier. He was trying to commit suicide at one point, until he saw her cadets outside. He's in a terrible mental place, so either his healing is very, very slowed right now, or it just straight up isn't occurring at all. So it's doubtful whether he'll even participate in this war unless, he's eaten and then his armor titan is utilized by someone else. But even so, immediately being able to utilize the armor titan is kind of a stretch. They probably would be okay, it would be a threat. But it's not the same as Reiner being involved personally, because he has all this control and all this, all this nuance with the armor titans. He's had it for a long time. His time's almost up even, I think. I think he has a year or two left. Not entirely sure on that one. So we see Jean and a few scouts taking on the Beast Titan, and I gotta say, I'm proud of my boy Jean. Imagine at the beginning of the series, Jean, of all people, taking on, the most dangerous Titan, enemy that there is, essentially, I don't know. That's really cool to me. I love Jean now. He's really grown on me as the series has gone on. So, Jean and a couple scouts are, attacking the Beast Titan, and it's not going super well. They're, dodging and stuff, and two of the scouts get a little hot-headed, and they go in when Jean's like, no, stop, don't. There's, this isn't an opening, don't go in. And Peck just, with her Cart Titan, her housing or whatever unit on her back, all the people with the machine guns, they just gun them down. It's a little brutal here. But she's watching the Beast Titan's back so that no one can get the nape of the neck, and they're being really careful about it. It turns out though that these gunners on the back of the Cart Titan have some trouble shooting straight up. So someone from the scouting unit goes right above the Cart Titan with Thunder Spear, coming straight down, and Galliard, the Jaw Titan, comes out of nowhere and just swipes him right out of the air. So the Cart Titan's watching the Beast Titan's back, and the Jaw Titan's watching the Cart Titan's back. So, they got some good coverage here. No one's watching the Jaw Titan's back, I guess, but you get it. They're covering each other. They're all watching each other's backs and covering each other's weaknesses. Porco Galliard mentions, that he lost sight of Ackerman, Levi. He's talking about, not Mikasa, I'm assuming, but he's saying he lost sight of Ackerman, and God, is that a terrible thing for him to do. At the time, I was like, okay, so Levi's out and about somewhere. I was like, cool. We'll see him do something cool later. Did not realize how significant it was that Porco couldn't keep track of Levi, but it was pretty important. So around this time is when we see Eren attempt to eat the Warhammer Titan straight in her crystal, which does not work. And he says that she's using up a lot of stamina, and that her shifting so many times isn't good for her and stuff, and that she has played all of her cards, but he still has a few to play. He emerges from his attack Titan that's still impaled and in the air. He jumps from it, and then he transforms again. This is his third shift, 3 times now. That's insane and not normal as compared to before, the time skip. So Eren is on point, and apparently still has a few tricks. And I think this goes back a little bit to what Kruger said in the Grisha flashback about how the attack Titan always moves forward and keeps fighting basically. I think it's stamina is its forte, kind of similar to the Cart Titan, but not exactly the same way. I think the Cart Titan just has a lot of endurance. You can stay transformed as a Cart Titan for a ridiculous amount of time, while the Attack Titan can regenerate really well, form more Titans, and just so it can continue fighting on the front lines. I think that's this subtle difference between their both of their endurance and stamina feats. So Peck is very, very astutely observing that they have the home field advantage. That although the Eldians here, all the scouts took them by surprise, that they have the home field advantage, and that they are limited on supplies and fuel, for the 3D maneuver gear and blades and bullets probably, and all this stuff. And she's basically saying that they need to play their cards carefully because, as Porco points out, if they can take the Founding Titan, they basically win. That's the one thing that's stopping them from a straight invasion of Paradise. So they're saying that they have to play their cards carefully because they might not get another chance at this. At least not this good of a chance, because Eren came right to them, directly into their stronghold, and it was just yo, what's up? Let's start a war. So Zeke and his Beast Titan form does this crazy throw where, just debris everywhere, and it looks really cool. It's a really cool panel. And then he says, I will not fight you, Eren Yeager, and he's here to fight Levi, specifically. And this, I don't know, this leads a lot into the theories that he's allied with Eren and possibly the Scouts, because Eren and Zeke are half-brothers. They might have been talking a little bit. We saw the whole, baseball glove thing with Eren. I don't know. There's a lot of little evidence here that they might be in cahoots, but I'm not completely sold on it because it's just, what does Zeke have to benefit, the Marleyan government seems to be in the better position other than the fact that they don't have the Founding Titan. That's all that they're missing, So, I don't know. That's a little iffy to me, but either way, he's not going for Eren. He's going for Levi, specifically, and that does not end well for him. We see Falco talking to a superior officer about Reiner and how he's not healing and where he is, that they need to go rescue him, and he runs into Gabby. So we have some setup there for them being on the battlefield around, where a lot of soldiers are. Following that, we get one of the hypest moments of the whole chapter, in my opinion. We get a shot of all the battleships and everything. The naval, fleet is getting ready to mobilize, and then we see them talking to this one guy. He's on a little tiny little boat, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing out there, man? There's stuff's going on here. We're doing stuff." And it turns out to be Armin of all people. I thought he was gonna come from the sky. Nope. He's in the water, man. He's in a little boat, and he looks absolutely depressed. He looks not excited to be doing this. I don't think he wants to murder all these people, but he does what he has to do. So we see the flash of the transformation. We don't see what his colossal titan looks like, because it might look a little different than Bertolt's. But we do see the flash of the explosion, and there's ships flying everywhere. So obviously the transformation in and of itself did a lot of damage, and now Armin's on the battlefield. My original thought was either that he was going to come from the sky, or that he was at Paradise Island being the protector, since he can deflect a lot of fleets and stuff if they come their way. But he turns out to be here in the water, and I'm super excited. I'm glad to see his new design with his little man ponytail. I think he's rocking it. I don't know. I'm excited to see more of him and his Titan especially, because we didn't get to see him transform or anything before the time skip. So back to Falco and Gabby and Captain Magath. Captain Magath, he's trying to protect them from the explosion because it reaches all the way from the water to where they are. So it's a pretty big explosion. It's bigger than I remember almost even. Maybe Armin's bigger than Bertholdt, even though he's shorter in real life. I don't know. You know, Titans are weird. So he's trying to protect them, and then we get Porco. We get the Porco's inner monologue, trying to thinking like, "This is my chance. I'm gonna go for the attack Titan." And then we see Mikasa kind of cut him off, and them have a little confrontation. And kind of sad we cut away from that because that's gonna be pretty badass. We get a lot of Levi coolness, you know, in the series that we see him do a lot of stuff. But I don't think we get enough of Mikasa fighting like Titan shifters and stuff. I think she deserves some more of that because she's awesome, and I think she wrecked Porco, just completely wreck him. There's no way he's ready for all of that Mikasa. Next, we see Jean commanding soldiers. They're all calling him Sir. I really like this, and I've already mentioned it, but I like seeing all the new cadets and stuff in leadership positions. So he's saying we need to immobilize the cart Titan and the machine gun on top of the cart Titan, because you know that's really bad for our 3D maneuver gear, basically. And in that moment, in just that one little moment where the cart Titan is paying attention to like hearing that or like looking away, she like looks back. And there's Levi. No warning, no nothing. There's the whole page of him just cutting the crap out of Zeke. He's right at the nape of the neck. He got him. He fucking got him. Beast Titan drops all the way to the ground, and he just, like, looking like a G, just stands there for a second, takes up his, bomb, pulls the pin, drops that bitch. He's out. He's out. And what? If Zeke is allied with the scouts, Levi betrayed the crap out of him because he just dominated him. He dominated him for the second time. This is the second time he's just completely owned Zeke. And if he's only allied with Eren, well, Eren should have mentioned that Levi is a monster. That should have been, just like, hey, by the way, Levi might kill you. That's just like a stipulation to our deal. I can't stop him. He's a monster. The cart Titan, now being distracted and kind of thrown off her game, is fighting all these scouts in the air, and they're like throwing thunder spears and stuff, kind of hitting the ground around her, but it's not doing all that much. And this is when we see Best Girl Sasha. If you think Best Girl is Mikasa, sorry, you are wrong, because it's Sasha. It's Sasha. Sasha over here with her just a regular ass rifle takes the most dead eye shot and hits one of the gunners in the eye through the slit that he's shooting out of. Distract everyone on the inside and gives the rest of the scouts the opportunity to hit the cart Titan directly with some thunder spears. The cart Titan falls off the roof, lands on the ground by Gabby and Falco and all them, and they're freaking out. And Falco goes to like step in between the scouts and the cart Titan so that he can be like, hey, like, this is my friend, please stop. And Jean does not look like he's stopping, because Jean's the frontmost guy who's going in there to do the finishing blow, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to hesitate at all, given that previously in the series he had a whole moment where he did hesitate and Armin had to pick up the slack. I think this is going to be like further development for that. He's either not going to hesitate at all and murder the crap out of Falco and the cart Titan, or there's going to be some other interruption, seems more likely, or someone's going to save Falco, but cart Titan is going to die. That also seems like that could definitely happen. And that is where the chapter ends. So as much as I wish it just kept on going, it doesn't. It's already a longer chapter than normal, but for some reason it felt so much shorter than every other chapter I read last week. So that's disappointing. But that's with a good series, Good series go by fast. So I look forward to reading the next chapter next month, and hopefully I'll get the review out a little bit closer to the release date for you guys. If you're still here watching the video, I appreciate it. And like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Let me know if the content quality has increased at all from the last Attack on Titan video that I made about a month or so ago. And yeah, until next time, guys. See ya.